Hi class, welcome to Module 2. I thought I'd walk you through Module 2 because this is the first module that is academically there, meaning that you have readings assigned from your history book, the Thinking Through the Past. You'll have some PDFs that you're responsible for. You have a couple of reading quizzes, and you have a primary source assignment, and then of course the weekly analysis post done via Flipgrid. So it's a lot of stuff in there, but this is an entire module. This is a flex course, so of course there's going to be a lot that we're trying to get in within the span of 7 weeks now versus 16 weeks for a traditional course. So I'm going to walk you through it. I advise you watch this video in its entirety. Just don't skim it because I'm going to go over some important points. First of all, let me go ahead and here's module 1, which you have completed. That was the first week. I would think that was pretty easy, right? It was just basic policies, procedures. It did have some information that you want to go back to regarding what a primary source, what a secondary source is, and the type on how to complete an analysis of primary and secondary sources. All right, so let's go to module 2. That's starting today, which is Friday. And the title of module 2 is Colonial America. So right here, as I have my pointer, it says video introduction for the module, which is what you're on right now. I break up all the modules from this point forward into 2 parts, Part A and Part B. I would advise to do them in that order. Part A, the first part of the module, has the readings that you need to do first, the required readings, and it's the PDF listed below, which is American Life in the 17th Century, 1607 to 1692. So you're responsible for all the readings in this PDF, and they are primary sources. You also are required to read the entirety of Chapter 3 in Thinking Through the Past, the entire chapter, and it's in Thinking Through the Past. It'll make your life so much easier if you do the reading. I'll be very honest, if you don't do the reading or you don't spend enough time doing the reading and comprehending the reading, you're going to have a hard time passing this course. This is a college level course, so there is reading. You've got to kind of take notes on the reading, make sure you understand what it says. And I understand 1301 has some English language that is very archaic, a lot older, but if you don't understand a word or something, you just need to look that up. But that shouldn't really be an issue. Okay. So you're responsible for all these readings, the Chapter 3 in the book, which I just showed you, and also the PDF. And if you click on this PDF right here, it'll open up. And in all honesty, these are the sources that I've found throughout the years. And as opposed to making you buy another book, I just went ahead and put them in the Canvas course. The first page of most of the PDFs from this point forward will be a prologue. So it's going to give you pretty much a general overview of what these sources are about and the time period. So this prologue is about the Chesapeake region in the New World, about these settlers, these colonists that come over. Not to be confused with the Pilgrims and Puritans, but these are the Chesapeake, the Virginians. And so that's what we'll be talking about, or you'll be reading about, and that I'll be talking about in the lectures to come. So if you scroll, the first document is a Londoner agrees to provide a servant. This first part in italicized, it's not part of the document. This is also a little hint, it's a clue, it's a description of what the document is about. So that helps you out even a little bit more before actually reading the document, what it's about. The next document is a servant girl pays the wages of the sin. Once again, you have a description of the document and then the actual document. This is really short, right? Here's Nathaniel Bacon proclaiming his principles. And once again, a description, and here's the actual document. Nathaniel Bacon is an indentured servant, not indentured servant, he's a settler that comes over, but he gets really upset because he doesn't get what he thinks he's owed. And you'll see that in the reading, and we'll talk about it during the lectures. Another document about the governor. And the last one is a document regarding slavery. We need to touch on slavery even this early in American history. Slavery is justified. And this is by a Reverend Peter Fontaine, trying to justify slavery even back then. So these are the documents under this PDF, and I'm going to go back to the module. So you will have read Thinking Through the Past, the entire chapter 3. You will have read the PDF, all the documents in here, and then you'll take quiz A. And it's a reading quiz, and the reading quiz is based off of the readings in chapter 3 and the PDF. So do not take the quiz without doing the readings. You're setting yourself up for failure. So you would just hit module 2 quiz A, and you would start. My screen looks a little bit different from yours because this is the instructor screen, but you would start. And the quiz is due before August 31st, 11:59 p.m. So it's available starting today, Friday, and it's available up until August 31st, 11:59 p.m. I would tell you to, maybe this weekend or even starting, well, today, whatever you want to do, get your readings done and take the quizzes as soon as you can or as early as possible. You only have one chance. This is college, and it is timed. So some students always ask me, is it open book? And I, of course, look at them and I go, I'm not there, so I couldn't tell you. You can have your book open. In fact, I would have the book open after reading it. So when I'm answering the questions, if I even don't remember an answer or don't know what it is, I know exactly where to go or which reading it was or which PDF it was, and I can go back and make sure I know what I'm talking about. Now, after you've taken the readings and taken the quiz, I've completed the readings and taken the quiz, there is a lecture. It's a PowerPoint lecture, and it's Early Colonial America. In fact, let me click that so you can see it. Early Colonial America, it's a YouTube lecture that I created about this early colonial period, and you would just click on the link, and it's about 15 minutes long, and it's just like if you were in my class, and we had the PowerPoint, and I would be talking about early colonial life in America. And let me pause it because I'm talking in this lecture. So you are responsible for the lecture, but you need to do the readings first so that you can understand what I'm talking about during the lecture. So that's part A. That's part A. This is going to be your first written assignment, primary source assignment, the primary material of history. So if you click on that, it'll have the directions. And for this assignment, you're going to choose between the primary source Journey to Pennsylvania or American Husbandry that you've read in this book in Thinking Through the Past. And in fact, it says that. So once you've read chapter 3, there's a document called Journey to Pennsylvania, and there's also a document called American Husbandry. So you pick which one you want to do. And then you complete an analysis. You can do, I would advise, and in fact, I strongly advise, do it in a Word document. And then you're going to upload that Word document into Canvas. And it's an analysis of this the primary source you pick. I want you to tell me who wrote or created the document, who is the intended audience for that document, when was the document created. They're all listed here. If you want to do it numbered and just put your answers next to it, that is fine. The one thing I do want to stress is for this number 2, who is the intended audience? Maybe not so much for this one, but maybe for future primary sources in the upcoming modules. Think outside the box, because sometimes you think that this person's speaking just to the people that are right in front of them, maybe in an assembly hall, but maybe that speech is intended to be sent out or to make an impact on a broader audience. So you would do all 8 of these, and I have all the information here. Type up your responses in a Word document, and then in the Word document, and then upload them into Canvas. And I have some more information here. You need to have that done and uploaded by September 1st, 11:59 p.m. Okay. So all the dates are going to be in Canvas. Once again, I do not accept late work because I put everything out in front of you today on Friday. So you know exactly what's due, what you need to have read ahead of time. So it's your responsibility. Now, I mentioned that the modules are broken up into 2, A and B. So here's A. So after you've completed A, part B, a new set of readings, right? You have a PDF, Colonial Society on the Eve of a Revolution. And once again, if you just click on that, prologue, right? To give you an idea so that you're not just flying blind, reading blind, you know what period we're talking about. And once again, here's a document by Benjamin Franklin, another document by Michel Guillaume de Courvoisier, another document by George Whitefield, a famous preacher that Benjamin Franklin is fascinated by. I'm sorry, this document's by Benjamin Franklin talking about George Whitefield, a preacher to the masses that Benjamin Franklin is just very intrigued by. And so those are all the documents in this PDF. And then we have documents regarding the 7 Years' War, which is also known as the French-Indian War, which is basically a duel for North America between the French and the British. And so we have another document by Benjamin Franklin. I'm really a fan of Benjamin Franklin during this time period. The proclamation, this is an actual British document regarding land in the New World after the 7 Years' War. And then we have a document regarding colonial unity, and that's pretty much it in this PDF. So part B, right? So you know you got to read these two documents or read these two PDFs with the documents in them. And then just like in part A, you take the reading quiz. Module 2 quiz B is only off of the readings assigned in part B. So it's not all of it, it's just part B readings. So you don't have to think, oh, do I have to remember what I read for A? No, it's going to be based off the B readings. Once again, I have 2 lectures, PowerPoint lectures with narration, and I will put little marks beside them. So you're expected to watch the lectures. And then the last part of this unit, and in fact, the unit weekly analysis post will be done via Flipgrid, just like you did with your introduction. So you're familiar with Flipgrid, but this will be a lot more in depth because it's not just a simple introduction and a reply to a fellow student. This is actually you analyzing and interpreting everything we talked about in this module. And you're going to have to analyze early colonial society and colonial society right after the French-Indian War, before the Revolution. Now, you'll have everything you need from the readings, from the lectures throughout the module. This is kind of at the end, bringing everything together. The prompt is pretty specific. And just like before, you need to do your introduction, meaning your video post, by Wednesday at 11:59 p.m. and then comment to a fellow student's analysis by 11:59 p.m. Thursday. That's about it. I know it seems like a lot, and I understand it is a lot, but this is a flex course, and you have from Friday through Wednesday 11:59 to kind of get your video post in order, because you're going to be learning different stuff throughout the module, and then having to reply and comment on a fellow students by Thursday midnight. Although you can do this even earlier. The due dates are there, but if you want to do something earlier, that's completely up to yourself. Go back. All right, so that's module 2. It's intense, I understand that, but I pretty much created this video just so you could see exactly the methodical way you need to go through these things. And I will keep on top of grading as you start turning stuff in. I try to grade stuff as soon as I can, usually within 24 to 48 hours. Sometimes it'll take a little bit longer, but I'm pretty good about keeping on top of that. If you need to contact me, and I don't have a problem with that, of course. I have Zoom office. You just need to email me or message me via right here through the box. Message me and say, Professor Fernandez, can we meet, via email in your Zoom office, let's say Monday at 1 p.m. And then I'll email a message you back saying, sure, no problem, confirmation. And you come in and you go into that Zoom office, and I will be waiting for you, and I will help you in any way I can. I just need you to confirm that with me. Send me a message and wait for my confirmation regarding the date and time. Okay, have a great weekend. Don't fall behind. It's really easy to do in a flex course. Keep up with the readings. Pay attention to the due dates and don't wait to the last minute, because I know, computers go down, Wi-Fi goes down, stuff happens. And as adults, unfortunately, that's something we all have to deal with. So do it as early as possible when you can, and you should do well in this course.